I live in a box. I live in a box and I'm exploring the four sides of this box. I'm calling these exploitations. They, to me, feel multidimensional, like nested, as in Russian dolls. You know how they are, there's one within the other, within the other, within the other, like layers of an onion. And these four walls that I'm confined by, the first is white supremacy. This is a system of the white man on top and everyone else is below. There is a lot of human potential locked away because of this disproportionate allocation of resources and knowledge, access, and privilege. There's more harm done by this than the good that comes from it. But I can say that I am biased because I am not white. The second wall or cage that I feel is that of capitalism, because this is another theft robbing humanity. If we retrace our time and efforts, we realize that there is a distraction, that it looks like we are all chasing progress, but really we're giving our energy and time away. We're giving it to the 1% who steal this for themselves. They are slowly running out of ideas, and so they use money to buy new ones. And perhaps this is also why they've invented artificial intelligence and all these surveillance systems, because they don't want us to create ideas for ourselves. They want us to create ideas and then they can still farm them through the devices that we are using. So I am literally uploading all of this information onto the internet, and the owners of the internet can then create products and ways to, one, better enslave us, and two, further enrich themselves. And they can then entrench their ideas into a worldview that becomes the law. Next, we have the cage of patriarchy. Patriarchy being the oppression and suppression by gender, the oppression and suppression of women. I have privilege because I am born male. However, I understand that this is somehow the strangest of all because this is where we all come from. I don't understand the gender wars. I don't understand how we've gotten to this point when feminism has had to fight through multiple waves just for us to see women as people as well instead of slaves. And then finally, the slaves that are still slaves, even to this day, we have the people who are oppressed and least spoken about. I commend countries like South Africa that have outlawed corporal punishment for children. Little humans have free will violated, and most of them are considered the lowest in this world. They experience labor or neglect across multiple countries, and this is part of how they're growing up, depending on what culture they are in. Their voices are completely erased, and we force them to conform. We force them to do what elders tell them. And this is despite their own creativity. They're forced to heed messages from people who have already conformed to the system instead of them whose minds are still supple, them who still have access to the other side, to the pure love and to the pure joy. And yet we force them to become prisoners, to be fully conformed to this side and this way of seeing.
Saying that you're a Catholic while also saying that you don't believe that whites and blacks should be married, or you don't believe in interracial marriage for whatever reason, that doesn't conflict with your Catholicism.
These four cages, they act all at the same time. They're a combination of forces, what I call World War Zero. And the war is an all out fight that nobody speaks of. Nobody speaks about Fight Club and the multiple violations to other people's free will. Nick is at war with our choices of partners. These are things that he subscribes for himself, and he has then built a following of people that want to impose this, not just in their lives, but also for their children.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, but you said that like that's not a Catholic perspective.
It's not a sin. The Catholic Church doesn't say it's a sin to mix races, but there have been various Catholic authors that have said that it's not conducive to a long-term marriage to mixed races because you have this clash, you have this dissonance between cultures, between different upbringings. And so they say if the selfless goal of a marriage is to rear children and you want to make that as conducive as possible, then you should marry within your race. It's not a sin if
Which
you don't.
Catholic author?
I don't know off the top of my head, but there are Catholic theologians that have said that it's not conducive to a long-term marriage and stable.
Okay, jumping in here, even though he didn't say that he would produce a document, I thought it was important to fact check this one, obviously, because I don't want people to walk away with a perspective that it's a Catholic teaching or a Catholic idea or Catholic theology that people shouldn't be marrying outside of their race. So I gave him an opportunity and told him it was important to me if he could supply us with the name or the reading. And this is what he came back with that we were able to fact check as being an accurate quotation from Thomas Aquinas. The quotation reads, "It is less fitting to marry one who is far removed from us in customs and manners, lest the mutual fellowship be hindered." Doesn't say anything about race. I certainly don't disagree with that whatsoever. And so I am not clear on how that could be interpreted as being about race. But again, the only reason I wanted to fact check that is because it's really important for people who are obviously having faith-based discussions to know that that is not a Catholic perspective. All right, let's get back into the conversation.
So, although that was not directly about race, it's about a rigid conformity to rules and to the strictures of order. The importance of uniformity, of conformity, of holding on to the longevity of the form, regardless of its substance. The ideas are good because I prefer them. And so that becomes the logic of the family going forward.
And by the way, the statistics bear this out. There's more mental illness, more domestic abuse in mixed race households. It depends on which ones. Some are worse than others in terms of the statistics.
Open chats, is that you? Careful now, careful.
But obviously, I mean, look, at the end of the day, elephant in the room is you're a black woman in a mixed marriage. So obviously, you have different
I'm interested.
beliefs on this.
If we don't, yeah, I listen. I'm never going to obviously adopt your beliefs on it.
Right.
I just think it's patently wrong.
But you understand why I would want to have grandchildren that are white?
I don't have an issue with you saying you want your kids to
But
look
do you
like
understand why I would believe that or feel that way?
No, because I'm not white. I don't understand.
What about your grandchildren being black, for that matter? Then
Well, I'm mixed race, so that, I mean, I just feel like each kid comes out looking different. It's kind of incredible. So I think that when you actually have children, you realize like it's incredible how like my daughter is a little bit darker,
Mhm.
but she looks like my husband, and then like my son's whiter, but he looks just like me.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of one of the exciting parts of being in a mixed race relationship. I'm always like, oh, I wonder what this kid's gonna come out looking like. Um, if you're saying that generations down, like 3 generations down, it'd be possible that you could just have all black kids or something, would that bother you? You'll probably be dead. Before
Yeah,
that
but
happens, you'll probably be dead.
I'm alive
But
now, and I
no, but
love
I'm
the
saying is
idea.
that, like, by the time you could breed it out, so to speak,
Mhm.
you'd be dead. So I'm just answering your question, like, it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
No. Uh, obviously not.
I'm saying, but do you understand why I would feel that way?
If I understood it, I wouldn't be in a mixed race relationship. I don't understand
But
it,
you
but
have
I
no
accept
empathy
it.
then for like
No.
you can't step outside of your
No, I kind of
situation.
no. I mean, no, I'm not. I don't need to have. How would I have empathy for it? I mean, I don't. I don't feel that way.
Okay.
So it's just something that we disagree on.
Well,
which is fine.
I'm saying that because I actually can understand the appeal of a mixed race relationship. I get it. I mean, I find other races attractive also. And, if I was in love with a person from another race, I would probably want to build a life with them also. But my values are not just who I'm in love with and things like that. It's also my heritage, my identity, my race. And, I like the idea. It is important to me. My parents look a certain way. Their parents look a certain way. We come from a certain place. I like the unbroken chain. And I want my grandchildren and great grandchildren to have a similar complexion. I want them to have similar hair. I want, because these kinds of things, they echo.
If you listen to Nick, you can tell he intends to have children who look like him. He means and has every intention of enforcing the traps. He will not be freeing his wife nor his children. They will be locked in. They will have to agree with him, or else then he is going to meet his end. This is about immortality for him. And that echoing is that secret code.
We're all connected, not just in time horizontally, but vertically across the generations. And so the idea that, 2 or 3 generations down the line, one of my children bears no resemblance to me at all, it's almost as if we're not related. It's almost as if I never existed. And there's something very disturbing to me about that. And I can understand why people are okay with that. Because people have various feelings about race. They say, I don't care about my race or whatever, but I do.
This is a war in the spirit, in the mind, in the heart, and in the body. The spirit is enslaved by ideals, the ideals we pursue. The mind by ideas that we think, and they're mostly not our own, so we have to conform. There is an assault on our emotions to keep us distracted, and our bodies are trapped by laws and rules, imaginary chains based on what we believe is possible. These limits were set, and we accept them because we do not know anything else.